Hello everyone, I am back. It's Ash with number 4 of the Perfect Save. And yay! Back home. And I can do this and it doesn't lag everywhere. So if you don't know or didn't pay attention to the last video, I was in California for about 3 weeks. I was there for E3. And I was in San Francisco for a week and also at MLG Anaheim. So I'm back, and I think what I'm going to do for this playthrough is I'm going to talk I'm going to do the Sundermount quest, which is basically you're going to be meeting Flemeth, and again, you're going to see Flemeth, and also you're going to meet Meryl, who is going to become a companion for Hawke. So, yeah, I should probably level up Aveline. That'd be a great idea. Yes, I will take those. Okay. So let's do this real quick. And also, I'm one of those people who have the Mabari mod, which basically changes, like, you see how corrupted spider? It says corrupted spider, but obviously it's a Mabari. I would rather not have... I hate spiders. I especially hate spiders in this game. There's a specific mob of spiders that comes at you like while you're walking ahead. It's in one of the, not the caves, but actually yeah, one of the caves. You're just walking through and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a spider right behind you, and I hate it. So I'd rather have a dog because I'm not afraid too much about dogs. I'm gonna grab this real quick so I can use it. There are a lot of different like plants and that you're probably going to be like, okay, I really don't care about plants in this game or any of the weeds or anything like that. Well, I think one of the things is like it kind of connects. Like they try to put it like, for instance, they try to connect it with the old history, especially with the elves. And like the roof gave medicines particularly to efficacy. So when the Imperium conquered the elves, blah 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 blah. And I'm not going to read it now, primarily because like I said, it will bother you a little bit. But I suggest going to the Codex if you ever get the chance to, or even hell, just pull up the Dragon Age wiki. A lot of these are already up there and you can read on them. It's actually quite insightful. And it also gives like a little bit to the past of how things were in old Thedas. And I know, okay, one of the feedbacks I was getting was, oh, Ashley, you talk too much about really random stuff. Well, I'll deal with it, because that's how I know how to talk.
Old Shemlin, your kind are not welcome.
What did you call me?
The Dalish.
You call me a Shem.
What's a Shemlin?
An elven slur for human.
It means you're not one of the people.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And you
I
should
changed
leave now.
also the mod. I think there's a mod I have for the face, because his normal face doesn't look anything like that.
Who are you people?
We are the last of the Elven.
Keep that in mind, Hawke. Elves you see elsewhere, figments of your imagination.
They have given up their identity
Yeah, he
to
used to
live among
look
Shemlin.
like an idiot.
They're elven no more.
I'm not expecting tea and cakes. I just need to see someone.
There's nothing here for any human.
Wait, this is the one the Keeper spoke of.
A Shemlin? I thought he'd be an elf.
Enter the camp. Keeper Marithari has been waiting for you.
Cause trouble. And
The
you'll
Dalish
meet
really
our
aren't
blades,
very nice.
stranger.
Marithari, I was told to bring you this amulet.
Andarana Tishan, travelers. Indeed, I am Keeper Marithari. Let me look at you. There is a light in your heart, human. Don't let it go out. You will need it. Tell me how this burden
Now, I was
fell
going to
to you,
comment it.
child.
I'm trying to avoid talking while they're talking as well. One of the things I was going to note is that if you actually pay attention to the elves within this, ignoring the mod that I have in there, like, I'm kind of glad that they're changing it so that there's a huge difference. There's like a huge disparity between the difference of wow, there's a huge disparity between difference. There's a huge disparity with Dragon Age Origin elves and Dragon Age 2 ones. I think Dragon Age 2 ones look kind of funny in a really, like, disappointing way, and I can't enjoy it the way that I did in 1. Like, in 1, like, they just feel a little bit more full. Like, obviously, they're a little bit shortened, and they look a little strange, but I actually enjoyed them a lot more in DAO rather than DA2. Let me put this.
Your guards said you spoke of me. How did you know I was coming?
I listened. To the wind, to the birds, as the hunters do, to my dreams. I watched the stars. There is great wisdom to be found all around us, if you know how to listen for it. But I was not certain. Nothing is certain.
Well, I bring the amulet here. Now, whenever I was thinking about how the amulet was put in to this portion, obviously whoever hasn't played this game won't know, but I always thought it was fascinating. It reminded me of in Harry Potter how there was a Horcrux, how you can cast away a little bit of your soul in order to transfer it to an object, and you can actually resurrect yourself, essentially. And I thought that was a little bit of a cop-out whenever not a cop-out, but like a little bit of a weird, like, thing that they offered in this game, because I was like, oh, well, you can cast away your soul in an object and you can resurrect, and wouldn't that just allow you to live forever? And then I realized, oh, god damn it, it's Flemeth. she's like the old she's of the old age, possibly even before all the way back whenever elves were the heads of everything, and whenever they had the old city. So
Are you the leader of these Dalish? Why did the witch tell me to bring this amulet to you?
I am the keeper of this clan. It is my task to guide my people and to ensure the old ways are not forgotten. As for Asha Bellinar, I am tied to her, just as you are.
What does the amulet do?
Must be repaid.
Exactly what have I been carrying around? Is it magic?
It is a promise, child, made by one whose word still has weight. And therefore, it has terrible power. There are few things in this world stronger than a promise kept.
There are a few things in
Remember
this
that.
world stronger than a promise kept. Remember that. Now, it's curious because there's also, whenever you're in Hawke's mansion in the second act, you get to hear him say this one little tidbit about how the amulet used to be in his little chest thing, and what would happen if you just left the amulet there. I've always been curious about that. I might actually do that in my next save. Just have the amulet, like, don't give it to Marithari. But the only problem is I don't even know if you can progress without doing that quest. So if that's actually possible, then I want to see what would happen. But I haven't tried it as of yet.
A dragon fell from the sky, charred some darkspawn, then asked me to bring you this amulet. No big deal.
You are blessed by luck, then. I will pray that Mithal watches over your path. The amulet must be taken to an altar at the top of the mountain and given a Dalish rite for the departed. Then, return the amulet to me. Do this and your debt will be repaid.
Are you going to teach me this rite for the
Oh,
departed?
the first. That was it.
I will send my first with you. She will see to it the ritual is done. And when it is complete, I must ask that you take her
Now,
with
they mentioned
you
about
when
they
you go.
mentioned briefly about the gods and the way that they have like different rituals. They have a sort of religion of sorts. They do believe in their gods and all the like, and it kind of. I think what's going to happen in Dragon Age Inquisition for me is that I'm going to pay more attention to actually siding with whether the Maker is real or whether the Dalish gods are real. Because for me, I, in this game, believe in the Maker. primarily because if you do the whole Andraste thing, if you do the Andraste quest line, whenever you're doing the Ashes in Dragon Age Origins, you actually do find out that, you know, oh, the Maker is kind of real, or at the very least, Andraste is. Now, of course, there are like the I can't remember how many of them. I think 7 of the ones that try to cast the Maker out and like try to kill the Maker. The old gods. Those could be the ones that are influenced by the Dalish, or that influence the Dalish religion. But for me, like, I'm so adjusted to the Maker, but I'm just gonna be like, well, hell, does it even matter at this point? But I think I'm gonna address it in Inquisition.
Who is your first?
Because in Inquisition, you're actually able to choose whether you want to,
my apprentice or heir.
whether you want to follow the Maker or not, and that's actually going to have influence and weight on your actions. So,
she has chosen,
especially whenever you're dealing with the Templars.
Please guide her safely from here.
That seems a little odd.
It is her wish, and I must grant it. You will find Merrill waiting for you on the trail just up the mountain.
Now,
Shiral.
just to give a little foresight, I am not a person who uses Merrill that much. Maybe I'll try a little bit more this time, but I just hated using Merrill all the time primarily because, one, she's an advocate of blood magic, and I don't like blood magic too much. I only use it whenever it is absolutely necessitated, or necessary. For instance, whenever, well, I didn't use it, I used lyrium, but in Dragon Age Origins, whenever you're at the, whenever you go and the little boy Connor, is it Connor? Or am I confusing it with another? You have to choose whether to save him through blood magic or not, and I use lyrium, but to be honest, like, that's the only time whenever I would use blood magic if it were absolutely necessary. So, let me see here. Oh yeah, and here's Meryl. Hey Meryl, what are you doing?
Oh, I didn't hear. You must be the one the Keeper told me about. Anethera.
I'm so sorry. I didn't ask your name. Unless... It's not rude to ask a human their name, is it? I'm Meryl, which you probably knew already. I'm rambling, sorry.
I don't know how to address it, though. I really don't like Meryl too much, primarily because she's a little bit of a naive, fruit bag in this. And I've never had a rivalry with her. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I cheated, not cheated on her, but, like, I cheated on, like, going into the console commands and actually making me, like, friendly with her. Because, to be honest, I do not want to revive the Illuvion, which is the mirror that is basically a portal. But I think it's enticingly necessary in the next one, in Inquisition. I think the Illuvion is going to have a huge impact. Let me put this.
We didn't get a proper introduction.
I am... or was, I suppose. The first to keep a Marathari. I've studied the old ways for as long as I can remember. I know things. The law of the Dalish that can help us get
Oh yeah,
to
and if you can't tell, I
Sundermount.
totally modded Meryl as well. It was part of the thing to mod Isabella, but I just added it too.
Why are you leaving the Dalish for Kirkwall?
I have to. Let's leave it at that for now, alright?
I get the feeling you're in trouble.
It's not like that. Not exactly, anyway. The Keeper and I have disagreements, but it will sort itself out in time.
What was that?
Did you hear that strange noise?
Oh, I didn't hear
Didn't hear anything she said. What's the matter? I kind of hate these questions.
You
it's
seem
just like
awfully
very
nervous.
based.
I've never
I
met
guess you could
human
say
before.
it's like, what was that noise? I don't know.
Dalish mothers frighten their children with stories about you, you know. Not you, personally, of course. I'm sure they don't have any tales about
The
you.
other point I actually had
Or not
whenever
scary ones,
I
at
was
least.
against Meryl, I feel bad because
Not
I'm
that
pretty
you're
sure
not
someone is
notable
going to be
enough to have
like,
a story.
but I really
I'm
like
just
Meryl. How could
cheating.
you actually how could you actually say that about her? Like, she was my favorite. For me, I didn't like Meryl primarily because not only did she want to revive the Illuvion, but also the fact that, like, the way that she responds to Sarcastic Hawke is really hard to deal with. Like, I'm over necessitating. I can't say it. Like, whenever there's a huge difference between whenever you're sarcastic to her and whenever you're nice to her, and it just builds up on this rivalry because, like, if you ever make fun of her, like, even in the slightest, she picks up on it. It's an automatic -10, and it always pisses me off. So
You'll have to work harder than that to offend me.
she has a very weird
My name's Hawke.
reaction
Thank
to
you.
Sarcastic Hawks.
I'm afraid I'm not very experienced with your kind. The Keeper said you came from Ferelden. I spent most of my life there. We only came north a few years ago. Have you been in the Free Marches long?
Could be worse.
Do you like it here?
I miss the cold and the dirt. Kirkwall's not brown enough for me. But hey, no Darkspawn.
Ferelden wasn't that brown. The dirt and muck gave it character. We should go. Your task is for Asher Bellinar.
Is there anything else?
It's not wise
Oh.
to make her wait.
Tell me about this rite. It's blood magic. I'll spoil it right now. You know about my task. I forget what it said.
I take it you've been expecting me to bring this amulet for some time.
The Keeper brought us here to wait for you. I don't know much more than that. I do know that you have Asher Bellinar's amulet. And we must bring it to the altar on the
Have you met
mountaintop.
Asher Bellinar?
Nothing more.
Do you know the witch who sent me here?
No, not personally. My people tell stories of her, though. You're very lucky. Most people who meet Asher Bellinar wind up in little pieces,
I'm ready to go.
hanging from the trees.
Let's get this over with.
Alright, now enough bad-mouthing Meryl. Let's see here. There's a lot to do here, as in gameplay. Now, I probably could have just talked while I was doing the gameplay so that I wouldn't be so boring. Let's see here, make that really fast. One of the things I really hate about these mobs, though, is that it's just pretty much... Oh, we get to actually go into the caves. The most annoying caves that exist everywhere. Oh, god damn it.
The Keeper didn't mention you were a mage.
All Keepers know a bit of old magic. The stories tell us that all Elven once had the gift. But like so many things, it was lost. It's a Keeper's job to remember, to restore
about demons?
what we can.
Can't demons possess Dalish mages?
It can happen. And when it does,
That
the
is
clan
kind of
must
twisted.
hunt and kill their own Keeper.
Does the Chantry know about the Dalish mages?
Oh, they know. Keeper Marathari told me that was one of the reasons we never camped too long in one place. They usually won't pursue us if we stay away from the cities and towns and keep moving. But my clan is now in more danger, having lost our Hala.
Hala. If you play Dragon Age Origins, there's a little thing that you can do. Actually, now I think about it, this is the only thing that I really hate the save generator for. Because, I think this affects it. Whenever you do the save generator, it gives, certain events that are already, like, accomplished, right? If you were to do the save generator between, not save generator, for instance, in Mass Effect, right, whenever you're doing 2 and 3, if you do the Genesis comic or any, I think that's the one I'm thinking of, you choose the major decisions, right, but you can't choose the smaller decisions, like especially if you were talking with Kasumi or Zaid, or you pick them up or anything like that. Same goes for the Gib save editor. It says, but my clan is now in more danger, having lost our Hala. In in my save for Dragon Age Origins, my original one, the one where I was Warden Queen and I actually saved it completely, what happened was that I actually saved it because my survival rating was at the one in order to save it. Now, I don't know if this directly affects it, and if that's the case, I'm probably just gonna redo all of this and then come back to recording, which shouldn't take me more than 2 days. I know this game way too well in order to just like skip through all of it. But if that's the case, I really hope that this is like the save generator normally covers everything, like the werewolves versus the mages, all the conflicts, what characters you choose, it even covers like the freaking threesome with Isabella and Alistair. Like, I just really hope that things are okay. And if not, then I'll just redo the save.
Please,
and then come back to it, and you guys won't
us.
know the wiser.
But I never... Right. Not literally. Happy to help. I've done a little fighting before, but it was always alone. I'll try not to hit anyone. On our side,
I will say that
I'm babbling again. Let's go.
Completely enjoy Meryl's voice actress. I really like her accent and the way that she speaks. Oh, it's not nothing. Here's mob.
I knew this would happen.
Like for gameplay being like really awesome. I say really awesome. You can't tell, but too much within these engagements because they're just like dirty mobs. The way that I present them, like they're predictable mobs that you just spank and tank. This guy. But like the combat tends to be really boring in the beginning, especially since I only have these amount of spells. I hate elemental spells, primarily because I like the... let me bring it up. Character abilities. I used to use Force Mage just for fun. They're like... This is why I play Mage. Like, there are a lot of different interesting stuff. Like, I used to play Arcane, which would have like a lot of different things like Mind Blast. I would play Force because there are a lot of like slamming ones, and not only that, but I also played Blood Mage, obviously because it was horrible and it made me feel like, oh, you can play a Blood Mage and not be evil. And although I know people are like, well, why do you hate Meryl then? Shouldn't it be the same because she uses blood magic? Well, for me, I think blood magic plus she's a little bit of a naive, like, little girl, so she doesn't use it wisely enough. But then again, Hawke is the one who sets forth like chaos and destruction into everything, because I'm gonna side with Anders in this one. That's what I'm gonna do, so.
So the Keeper finally found someone to take you from here.
Yes.
Then finish your task quickly, human. We cannot be rid of this one too soon.
I'm sensing a story here.
I have made my choice. And I will save our clan whatever you think.
Nice mountain you got.
Sundermount seems very mountainous today, doesn't it? Lots of rock and hillside.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Stop fussing.
Let's go. We should hurry.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry. You're not really seeing the Dalish at their best. We're good people that look out for each other. Just not today, apparently.
But the Dalish are delightful. I was just thinking of inviting the whole clan over for tea.
Oh,
I'm sure they'd never
right.
accept an...
Sarcasm.
Oh. Right.
Now, it's already reaching 24 minutes, and I'm kind of worried about this. So, there isn't that much at all that happens within...
isn't known for her patience.
Down here. I'm just going to comment, though, real quickly. One of the things I really hate about the bottoms here is that you're going to find repetitive cave content. This is what everyone hates about Dragon Age 2. Everything is repeated. everything as far as the caves and the dungeons, the difference is that they're all like set off, but you can basically like see everything is the same. Okay, Hawke here. Okay, so I'll probably skip through all of this stuff because literally it is boring as hell. Like I said, boring. So anyway, I'll skip through, and then whenever I come back, it'll be fast. And we're outside. Yay! That was actually really short, and I thought the caves would, run a lot longer than normal. Now we get to actually see Meryl and the way that she is. Although, let me do this real quick. I kind of wish that you could actually go through in the back here, but can't. It makes me sad.
I can open the way forward. One moment.
Right. That was not normal.
That was blood magic.
Yes, it was blood magic, but I know what I'm doing. The spirit helped us, didn't it?
The spirit helped us, didn't it? One of the things I had a problem with whenever it came to blood magic within Dragon Age 2 is that this uncertainty, and the fact that whenever you use blood magic, it always brings in a demon into your soul. Not into your soul, but like you make a deal with the demon in order to actually use blood magic. Now, my whole thing with it was that you always need to accept a demon in order to actually use blood magic. Like for instance, Joan, whenever you get to meet him in Dragon Age Origins, he does depend on blood magic, but it's worked as a catalyst rather than the actual base of the power. Now, it kind of confused me in Dragon Age 2 because I'm just kind of like sitting here and going, like the first time I ever played this, I was like, well, wait a second, you have to accept the demon into your life in order to actually use blood magic, or can you just use it as a catalyst? Now, I believe the usage of blood magic within Dragon Age is that whenever using blood magic, it is the most powerful blood magic comes from the most chaos. Now, that usually comes from like it has to have like multiple deaths within, like the veil tearing. That's how blood magic gains its power. Now in Tevinter, like for instance, the veil is extremely not short. The veil is extremely thin because there's so many people that use blood magic and so many people that use it willingly and cause chaos. Like for instance, whenever you're dealing with slavery and you use like how they would use slaves in order to actually generate their power, and because it's a twisted kind of thing, like the more twisted your action is, the more powerful your magic is. So I guess what I'm trying to think of then is just like blood magic generally confuses me whenever it comes to this game. There are different variations that I kind of wish that not only that in World of Thedas, like the actual, like I guess you could say, encyclopedia of Dragon Age, I kind of wish they went in depth with blood magic. It's kind of like, oh, blood magic is pretty bad and blah blah blah, but you can use blood magic the way that the devs engaged it whenever they were talking about it at PAX East 2012, I think. PAX East, PAX Prime, I can't remember which one. They were talking about how blood magic can actually just be, you don't need to do a deal with the devil, deal with the demon in order to actually generate it. You can be normal, you can be sane and use blood magic. But if blood magic is more powerful whenever you're doing corrupted, messed up actions, how does that actually engage? Like, what's the point of using blood magic if it's going to have the same standard thing as lyrium. Obviously, lyrium, you know, only is restricted to the Templars and the dwarves that mine it, but I always thought it was kind of curious. Because how can you retain your sanity whenever you have blood magic? Like, the general concept of blood magic is it needs to be stronger, but why would you use blood magic if you can't get in, if you want to retain your sanity? Well, anyway.
Sure, demons are very helpful. Right up until they take your mind and turn you into a monster.
Well, yes.
And this is why I don't like Marrow,
I know
generally.
how to defend myself.
Because I can protect
careful
myself,
up ahead.
and then you just sit there going,
Restless things
no, you
prowl
can't.
heights.
You really can't.
In the days of Arlathon, the elders came here to sleep. Uthanara, the endless dream they called it. But they don't sleep peacefully anymore.
Whenever I first played this, like, I thought I had to go through, like, an entire winding road, especially after, like, her little ominous, like, oh, they don't sleep anymore, but the altar is literally right there, so I'm just kind of like, well, you just built up for nothing. Like, wait, where's the enemy? Like, you just fight around the altar, and then, here they come. I remember everything as far as the combat, like, where every single mob is. And to be honest, it's quite predictable. And there's a Shadow Warrior that pops up somewhere. Where's the Spirit Bolt? I had Spirit Bolt, and it was right here. Whatever. Guess it's not. Let's use this one. Doggy! Now, I kind of wish I had Fenris in here, because Fenris talks, like, he starts talking whenever, you talk to Flemeth. But this is the original crew plus Meryl, so, I mean, it's not that bad. Or, this is the original crew, and then Varric is always nice, so. I've never done it this early. I usually have Anders and Fenris with me whenever I approach the altar, so.
Aharin amalana salen. Emma ira au bella zaviranan. Isalahamin vinanhim dofilas. In Uthanera narivas.
Here we are.
Under Anatishan Ashabalana.
One of the people. I see. So young and bright. Do you know who I am, beyond that title?
I know only a little.
Then stand. The people bend their knee too quickly. So refreshing to see someone who keeps their end of a bargain. I half expected my amulet to end up in a merchant's pocket.
Because it was a Horcrux.
No one wanted to buy it. Maybe because it had a witch inside.
Just a piece. A small piece. But it was all I needed. A bit of security, should the inevitable occur. And if I know my Morrigan,
should the inevitable occur. Now, already in popping in my head is the Dragon Age Inquisition trailer. Whenever it comes to, if I know my Morrigan, it already has. Because we already see that she's alive. And it's very curious.
Is that someone I should know?
She's a girl who thinks she knows what is what better than I or anyone. And why not? I raised her to be as she is. I cannot expect her to be less.
I'm not sure whether she's your daughter or your enemy.
Neither is she.
Why did you need me to bring you here?
Because I had an appointment to keep. And because I did not want to be followed.
I was always curious what would happen if the Warden Commander decided to kill Flemeth. One of the options that you can do is that Morgan requests that, kill her and kill Flemeth and take her grimoire. But instead, what I did was my warden just said, oh yeah, Flemeth is dead, blah blah blah, here's her grimoire. And actually, I'm curious as to what are the changes within that and what would happen. Primarily because, like, if Flemeth is not on your side, does that make her more antagonistic to the actual human race, or elves, or anything like that? I always considered that, because, well, no one wants to piss off Flemeth.
I don't understand. Are you some kind of vision?
Must I be in only one place? Bodies.
And this was the explanation whenever it came to why she could live at the end, even though that you killed her in Origins. I thought it was a little bit of a cop-out, but I guess it does have some weight if it were to be, like, if you think about it, like, as far as, like, why Dumont, for instance, in the Legacy DLC of this game, why is he, not Dumont, what was I gonna say, actually, no, that does work, like, why does he still exist? Dumont or Crufius? Crufius. Yes. Why do certain things still exist even though that they're long dead? And obviously we can give the explanation, well, they're spirits. Well, not always. They still do have a physical limitation, but it's still physical, like, property within the actual world.
A fragment?
You do not need to understand, child. Know only that you may have saved my life, just as I once saved yours, and even trade, I think.
You have plans, I take it?
Destiny awaits us both, dear boy. We have much to do. Before I go, a word of advice. We stand upon the precipice of change. The world fears the inevitable plummet into the abyss. Watch for that moment, and when it comes, do not hesitate to leap. It is only when you fall that
cheap advice coming from the dragon. No, sorry, that was the actual quote that's gonna happen next. God damn it, I really hate her, or not hate, I really love her voice actress.
Cheap advice from a dragon?
We all have our challenges.
Are we going to regret bringing her here?
Regret is something I know well. Take care not to cling to it, to hold it so close that it poisons your soul. When the time comes for your regrets, remember me. As for you, child, step carefully. No path is darker than when your eyes are shut.
Maceranus Ashabelana.
Now the time has come for me to leave. You have my thanks and my sympathy.
How does one turn into a dragon? It makes no sense. Oh my god. Dog, why are you so big? Okay, but yeah, that was basically Flemeth, as far as her appearance in this game. Now, that is her only appearance in this game, and she doesn't come until probably Dragon Age Inquisition. She never makes another appearance again, which is kind of a bummer, but the way that Morgan approached it in Dragon Age Origins was that whether she's human or not, whether she's actually real or anything like, not real, whether she's a real human or not, and how long has she honestly been alive now. we don't have those questions, obviously. Or we don't have those answers, obviously. One of the things that a lot of people, that Morrigan found out in Dragon Age Origins was that she would raise her daughters, and they would look like the splitting image of her, and then she would rid them of their bodies. Like, she would just basically take over the bodies, and Morrigan didn't want that, obviously. So she technically asked for the Warden to get rid of Flemeth. And obviously, I mentioned earlier that you can make a choice whether to betray her or betray Flemeth. Now, but the other thing is that apparently Morrigan found out something more interesting to who is Flemeth. She's not exactly human. One of the things was that she is actually, she took a spirit or a demon inside her, and she's been alive for a very, very long time. So one of the curiosities is whether, one, you can trust Morrigan, or not trust Morrigan, trust Flemeth, or if it's a really bad idea. I'm looking forward to the explanation it is whenever Dragon Age Inquisition comes out. I really hope that there's a huge weight with whether you side with Morrigan or whether you side with Flemeth. Now, I sided with Flemeth, obviously, because I thought it was better not to screw up the the human race with what can turn into a dragon. So, also, I'm curious as to how old she'll look in the next one, and especially since it's 10 years' time. But okay, so that was the end of it. I'm hoping, yeah, next week it will turn, we'll go back to normal times. I do want to upload this every single Thursday instead. I'll see you guys next Thursday, and, oh, what I decided on is that if I don't finish this by November 2, I'm just going to put it in the charity, and I'm going to make 24 hours of finishing this game. I definitely can finish this game within 24 hours, as long as I either, 1, don't talk, or 2, or, I mean, I can talk, I won't talk like the way I'm doing right now. I'm just standing around and making the save file number 5. But at the very least, that's my aim right now. Like, what? It's July right now, right? So I have July, August, September, October. I have so many months in order to actually get through this. Thank you for watching, and I will be back next week. See you guys later.